right. We got Chicken City.
The poop fairy.
Kill me, I'm here! Kill me!
I want to marry a guy and a babe.
That's right. Chocolate chip. He's grabbing his crotch.
Live from Command Center Alpha 1, it's the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Midnight Mike, Juicy Joe, a.k.a. Friendtown, and Gretchen.
Okay, quack.
Hey, everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Hooray! Yay! My name's Midnight Mike, and Cretched is over there, yeah.
I hate this place.
I do hate this place. I've been here 7 years.
Yeah, I've been here for 7 years. Medication doesn't work. I hate this place. Nothing works here. Medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years. Nothing works here. I hate this place. Nothing works here. Medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
Wonder how he feels about that place.
I wonder if you're still there. And for the record, that guy wasn't there for 7 years. He was there for 3 months in that...
I thought it was even less than that when
Yeah.
we were talking to him. He arrived like the week before or
He
something.
just got there, and he was under the assumption he was there for 7 years.
7 years.
Our buddy Juicy Joe is not here. He's not here.
Yeah, I guess Joe and his husband are currently converting their unit to some sort of armored bunker.
That's right.
As they're engaging in some sort of floor-to-floor warfare with his apartment management company. So
Something's going on. He's got apartment things to attend to. Urban warfare is commencing in his apartment complex.
spending the day loading all the mags.
Yeah. You ever see that movie Skyline? It was like an end of the world alien invasion movie, and it all took place in someone's apartment complex. It was actually, pretty well made, low budget alien invasion movie. But these two guys made the movie basically on their laptop for a super low budget, but the effects are all good, and it basically takes place in someone's apartment.
And they filmed the entire thing in somebody's apartment?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Not bad, though.
Like that scene from, was it Lord of the Rings, where they said they've taken the kitchen and they've moved into the hallway, and they're coming for us in the dining room.
Yes. Yeah, something like that. But Joe will be back on Wednesday, I believe.
Balls. Or balls. One of the two.
Oh boy, we have some sort of show for everyone out there. Thank you for everyone listening on the No Agenda stream. Thank you, and Rumble and Twitch and wherever else. Kick, maybe even Kick.com. We don't know.
I've been tracking this. Rumble is routinely getting significantly more, upwards of 50% more people on Rumble than there are on Twitch.
Wow, that's incredible.
So a significant uptick on there. And the interesting thing is, we're not seeing the numbers go down necessarily on Twitch. I mean, they're obviously taking a hit as people move from Twitch to Rumble, but we're seeing more people watching the live streams now.
Well, that's maybe we're getting some recommendations via Rumble.
Could be, yeah, because Twitch don't recommend shit.
No, they hate us there. Same with YouTube. They hate us there.
Yes.
Rumble's actually recommending that you turn off your phone and go outside.
I don't get it. We're like, when it comes to like news and conspiracy podcasts, we're fairly non-controversial if you take everything Joe says out of the equation. But so,
well, to be fair, I did claim last week that President Obama bludgeoned somebody to death with a rowing oar.
Oh, that
allegedly,
was a joke. Come on, everyone knows he wouldn't do that.
It's a joke. Like, Russia, if you're listening, send me the emails. Collusion.
If Obama was going to kill somebody with some sort of boating-related instrument, he would chop somebody's head off by putting their neck underneath the motor of a motorboat.
No, he's a kind gentleman. He'd use a seat cushion.
Yeah, you're right. Suffocate somebody the polite way.
A vinyl covered seat cushion.
Well, we have a lot of things.
This is taking forever.
We got a lot of things to get to. I will quickly play just this little brief montage that was so kind.
When you're done with this, I have a follow-up one. I'll get it in Carrot Shop for you.
So as mentioned, I love to talk about Skinwalker Ranch on the show, cover weird, strange things, which I'm going to get into today. But I keep bringing up Skinwalker Ranch, and as I do, Cratchit reminds me that the host of the show, Travis Taylor, during an interview with Richard Dolan, said, "Hey, I have 14 seconds of missing time that's unaccounted for," and Cratchit keeps bringing that back up as a point of contention. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but it was amplified and blown out of proportion. And here's a montage of us talking about it. I would say, I don't know, over hundreds of episodes. It keeps getting brought up. Here's just a little sample of it.
Can you go back and cover the guy who lost 14 seconds at Skinwalker Ranch? I'm going to go back and get a clip of our show discussing that, and I'm going to play that clip as if it's a new clip.
There are 14 seconds of my life that's missing, and we can't figure out where I was for 14 seconds. But I know where I was, and I told him what happened, but none of the instruments saw me during this time.
If there's evidence of him not being there for 14 seconds, I don't think he would make that up.
I know I was there for 14 seconds, but the camera says I wasn't. Okay. I know I was there for 14 seconds.
14 seconds. Okay, I'm 100% on board now.
Yeah, 13
seconds. Skeptical. 14.
Yeah.
You got me.
It's a weird number. You pick 13. Like, if you say 14, no one's going to say 14, so you're not going to make up 14. You know, no one thinks of 14.
Apparently aliens do. Maybe they count in base 14. Maybe that's why.
There was 14 seconds.
The 13 seconds of missing, I remember that one.
Yeah, you remember that? Like, it was... Okay, we're going to get out of that.
Oh, come on.
It's 2 more minutes of
It goes for 3 minutes. It's great.
I will play it at the end of the show.
Okay. All right. In Carrot Shop, I dropped in my edit of Jick's edit. It's 24 seconds.
Okay.
Gets down to just a brass tacks, gets people what they want.
Okay.
Can you go back and cover the guy who lost 14 seconds?
14 seconds. 14 seconds.
14 seconds.
14 seconds. 14 seconds.
14 seconds.
14 seconds.
The 13 seconds.
14 seconds.
14 seconds.
14 seconds.
14 seconds. 14 seconds. 14 seconds. 14 seconds.
13 to 14 seconds.
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 14 seconds. 14 seconds. 14 seconds.
14 seconds. 14 seconds.
Oh, God. It cracks me up. I didn't realize that I bring it up that much.
Yeah. It is a point of contention. Well, we will be talking about time anomalies on today's show. That's going to be my feature segment. Right now, I'm going to start talking about time anomalies. Here we go. Go back to work. I am reading through a book called Time Storms. Time storms, Cratchit. Do you know about time storms?
I do know about time storms. No, I don't.
So,
What's a time storm?
Time storms are a phenomenon in which people will see or encounter a mist-like object. I don't know if you want to call mist an object, but it is some sort of mass, a misty kind of mass that is glowing. Sometimes sparks of electricity are shooting out of it. Sometimes it hovers very close to the ground. Sometimes it can even appear as a fuzzy ball of light that is also accompanied by some sort of mist. And when people encounter such a phenomenon, sometimes time is displaced. Sometimes memories are affected. Sometimes there are missing times. Maybe I don't even want to use the word UFO abduction, alien abduction kind of scenario, but that's what it is. It's very curious. And so these aren't necessarily stories of people encountering humanoids, like little gray aliens with large eyes and various operations or procedures being performed on them. These are something outside of that. This is something different. It almost feels like these are natural phenomenon that are occurring, and they often get confused with an alien abduction. And I'll go down just about 3 of these, and I'll be covering these for the next few episodes because it does kind of culminate and underscore that there is a different type of phenomenon going on this earth that is strange, other than UFOs and UFO abductions. This is something I would say that is more akin to Skinwalker Ranch or the Meadow, where there are certain places on this earth where weird crap just happens, and it's not really in one basket or another. It really is just kind of something completely unique. And so in this this first story here, this takes place in 1880 from China. Yeah, I know you like China. We like China. We all love China.
China.
Yeah,
I love China.
China.
everyone loves China. But then back in the 1880s, there was a farmer, and he was going about his day when he came about a glowing mist in some bushes. He went closer to investigate. He felt this tingling all over his body, probably like a static electricity kind of charge. And then he felt paralysis. He couldn't move. And then all of a sudden he heard this humming noise, and it was like humming or rushing, and he felt himself floating upwards, and then he just absolutely blacked out. The next thing he remembers is waking up 300 miles away 2 weeks later. That's it. So he blacked out. He has no memory from when he was hearing that rushing and humming sound, floating upwards, and then boom, blacked out, wakes up 300 miles away. Not unlike a case that Jack Valet covered from the 1500s, where a person was out walking around. He heard a rushing sound. This person was picked up into the air a little bit, blacked out, and then he wound up in Italy. And this person was from Germany. This is the 1500s, and so weeks and months had gone by. His family hadn't heard from him, and they finally got word that he was hanging out down in Italy. And very, very weird phenomenon. And I wouldn't necessarily attribute that to a stereotypical UFO encounter. But this next one here is from 1977 in Chile. So in this event,
Love Chile.
this is Chile, if you so want to call it. This takes place on April 24th. So on April 24th, a small Army unit was out for a 2-day training exercise. Right around 3:50 a.m., guy on guard called to his Corporal Valdez, and says that there was something very strange going on the mountain, very close by. So the corporal got up. They both took a look, and they saw 2 fuzzy violet colored lights descending from the mountains headed their way. Both the lights also emanated some kind of weird eerie glow or mist below them. Well, the corporal, Valdez, sprung to action, said, hey, men, put out the campfire. We don't need to give away our positions any more than we already have, and get your weapons ready. They don't know if this is part of the training exercise or if it was a real world scenario. So he got his troops ready. So right around 4:15 a.m., about 25 minutes later, Corporal Valdez said, you guys wait here. I'm going to go up the hillside and approach the lights. Well, as he approached the lights, there was only one light now that was glowing violet with some mist below it. So as he approached the hillside, and the lights were about a few hundred yards away, within seconds of reaching the light, Valdez just disappeared completely into the darkness, and the fuzzy glowing light faded away. Well, the rest of the soldiers kind of started freaking out, not knowing what to do. They decided to just kind of hang tight and kind of wait to see if their corporal came back. Well, at 4:30 a.m., Corporal Valdez did return, but from the opposite direction. So he didn't return from the hillside that he was approaching. He came from the completely opposite direction. Well, this kind of threw the soldiers for a loop, but they said, whatever, he came back. And as the corporal stumbled into the encampment, he was disoriented, he was mumbling, and they only could discern this. This is what he was saying. You don't know who we are or where we come from. The corporal looked weak. He looked like he was kind of like in a catatonic state or in a trance. But it also looked like he had beard growth. He was shaven, as a military soldier normally would be. But he had beard growth. So the soldiers looked down at his wristwatch, and it appeared as though it was the correct time at 4:30, but it was April 30th, 5 days from that date of April 24th. So somehow his watch and him had traveled 5 days in the future, came back, and wound up in that encampment. Now, this guy, Corporal Valdez, does not remember a thing, or if he does, he's not telling anyone. The Army has since transferred that guy. They transferred him away from that area, and the corporal has refused to talk to anyone about that event because maybe he doesn't want to remember, or he's so traumatized he just doesn't want to talk about it at all.
Did the guy get back pay for those 5 days missed?
That's a good question. That is an extra 5 days of pay. It's not accounted for. He doesn't really have any witnesses that he was working during those days. So I will have to say no. It was just an extended vacation.
That's not fair. Are you going to take it out of his sick leave?
Yeah, I guess it's just it's time off, but non-paid time off. I mean, and being like that traumatized and not being, is it time off if you don't remember you had time off? Because he doesn't remember anything. Is it really a vacation if you don't remember it?
What you do on your time off is your business. So if you want to get blackout drunk and not remember the weekend, that's still your time, man.
Well, he couldn't account for those 5 days.
This guy got time stolen from him. They owe him 5 days.
Yeah, it was really time taken from him because he doesn't remember it, and he went back to April 26th, and so he just had 5 days of beard growth, probably 5 days of not changing your underwear and bathing yourself at that point in time, so probably not a very good bender. I'm not saying. It's not something I would like to do, but in my last little time anomaly here is from 1972. So in 1972, there's a guy named Roy. He was walking towards a factory where he worked. And as he was approaching the factory, he saw this milky white egg-shaped object kind of hovering low by a nearby building. And it was surrounded by this fuzzy haze that kind of made the egg-shaped object kind of like opaque. As Roy came closer to the haze, time suddenly just lost all meaning. He became a little bit disoriented, and he found himself walking through what he describes is like a vacuum, where there should have been a busy city area. There was nothing. It was deserted. There was an eerie silence, as if every sound in the world had stopped. And this is very disoriented to him because he was expecting to see a busy city that he knew, and it was just completely deserted. The buildings were there, but no people, nothing at all. No sound at all either. And so as he was kind of turning the corner of the building, the egg thing in the haze began to fade away. And Roy said, as I turned the corner, it was like entering a party. The noise rushed back. The world came back. And it was as if kind of nothing happened. So he was in this almost kind of like underworld, kind of like nothing world state when he was in the vicinity of this egg-shaped thing. But once he left that vicinity, the world came back. Just a bizarre incident. And this book, Time Storms, has a ton of them, a ton of different incidents where people encounter a region of this misty, hazy-like substance, and when they're in this region, things start to go wacky. Time stops. If they're driving within their car or on a motorcycle, the electronics just go dead. But inertia is kept. So if they're traveling in a car, their car may die electronically, but the inertia of the vehicle is kept in some kind of fashion. Very strange. But I'll go over more of these kind of strange little events in the coming episodes, and we'll kind of piece it all together over the next few weeks.
We have a similar kind of narrative events with, like, what you have the Stephen King wrote about this a lot. He has this mist crap, which is I'm blanking on the name here, but it's a crack between two worlds that involves a lot of his stories, or even like the Silent Hill series, where they go into this heavy fog and the people can't see or hear people in there, and it's very disconnected from the real world and all the rest.
Yeah, and even like in Stranger Things, there's like the in-between world where it is like it's just the structures of our real world are kept, but in that in-between world, everything is just kind of angled and slanted. It's a different atmosphere. It's creepy. It's where different creatures live. And which maybe, like, for Roy's story there, it's like all the human consciousness, all the living creatures were sucked out, and he was the only one that was there for whatever reason. And it like, if this was like some sort of like UFO event, it kind of would lead me to kind of speculate, okay, when a UFO comes down and abducts somebody, why don't more people in the neighborhood, if it is a populated area, see that UFO? Why don't more people get abducted at the same time? Or why isn't there more information of people of people witnessing a UFO abduction? And it could be because of a phenomenon like this, where time itself is paused and they're able to operate in this non-time arena to take people and do what they got to do to them. But these things that I just read right here, I don't know, they appear to be a different phenomenon, something that's not stereotypical for like a UFO abduction. These are not like nuts and bolts kind of craft that you hop into and whiz around the galaxy. These are weird things, like weird plasma kind of maybe creatures that live outside this time and can manipulate it. There's some weird stories in here, and I'll try to bring out some of the more weird ones that may give some explanation of what may be going on. And this also, some of these so-called time storms might explain a good chunk of the missing 411 phenomenon, where people just up and disappear. And some of the younger people that are discovered, they do state that it does feel as though they're in this vacuum, this time vacuum, and they're looking at events. They can see people, but it's almost kind of like it's black and white, like they are in this nether region, like this encapsulated room of nether region, and they can look out and they can see activity, but they can't interact with it, or they can't use their voice to reach out and communicate with people outside of that vacuum. So, I don't know, some weird stuff there. But we'll move on. We'll read down some headlines here and see if we can make sense of this weird, wacky world, okay? Sure.
I am tired.
The Stephen King trope I was trying to think of was toe-dash or two-dash space, which is the crack between dimensions and things, which is always described as misty and time doesn't move the same direction or the same speed or even the same direction. Pervades a lot of his, especially his short stories. He did a really cool one. I can't remember the name of it. He did a really cool one a long time ago that was about time dilation as people traveled interstellar. They traveled between planets, and if you were conscious during that, your brain couldn't take it. But if they knocked you out and you went to sleep, it was just a few hours.
I like all that wacky stuff. I like all that weird time travel stuff. It just kind of sucks that no one remembered, like, at least in these books, no one's remembering a darn thing. Like, what's going on in that 5 days that Corporal Valdez was away? What was he doing? We don't know. He refuses to tell anybody. Or if he does remember, it's so traumatic he doesn't want to talk about it again.
I do like the idea of the because that was the only one, the one from '77 in Chile, where they saw a UFO at the same time. So
it was a fuzzy light.
He saw lights, which traditionally, I guess my brain immediately went to UFOs, but could those be associated where UFOs are able to, is this a reflection of them traveling between dimensions? Are they able to generate this field, which is a time dilation, and as well as the inability to communicate inside or outside of it? It's kind of a cool effect. If that's, that's an interesting wrinkle on this. Are they related?
Yeah, and I'd like to know. And I'd also like to know if UFO abductions have decreased or increased in the past 5 years, especially since the pandemic. I cannot find numbers on this. Has the UFO abduction, alien abduction phenomenon completely died off?
It's because it's too hot. It's the hottest summer in the history of the planet.
I'd like to know, was the UFO alien abduction at its height during the 70s, 80s, 90s, and has it completely dipped off, almost as if whatever operation they were running, it's over. They collected what they needed to collect, whether it was my labs or true alien abductions. Is the operation over? And they've collected enough of whatever they needed, and it's like, we got enough. We don't need to abduct anybody.
Stop bringing me people. I don't need more of these.
We're full. We're full of DNA. We got enough semen for lifetimes. We're done.
We got 7 tanker trucks full of semen. It's fine.
Stop sending your semen. We got enough. But I will get some updates on some of the most, the most recent goings-ons in the UFO community. As we were talking about last episode, there was the big UFO hearing in Congress. You had 3 whistleblowers, not a lot of new information. And I was waiting for a lot of interesting comments on social media. A lot of people, a lot of normies out there. What do the normies think? And it looks like no one gives a darn.
No,
very few people.
Thinking about Barbie and Taylor Swift.
That's what they care about. That's what they really care about. But I'll bring this up on screen here. And this is posted by Black Vault, John Greenwald. And he got this from LinkedIn. That's where we get all of our news from, LinkedIn. And for whatever reason, the head of the AARO, the All Anomaly Research Office that's headed up supposedly by a civilian under the DOD, that guy, Kirkpatrick, the one who claims that we have no evidence of non-human technology, the one who basically said David Grush says he was lying, that there is evidence. Well, Kirkpatrick came out and posted a statement on LinkedIn, and in response to the UFO hearings. And so this is like a back and forth between 2 prominent people now talking about the nature of UFOs. David Grush says we have downed alien technology in bodies. Kirkpatrick saying there's absolutely no evidence of this. So here, I'll just read this a little bit of the statement. Let me begin by saying the following are my own personal observations and opinions, which do not necessarily represent official DOD or IC positions. Yesterday, the Subcommittee on National Security, the Border, and Foreign Affairs held an open hearing on UAP, during which a government cover-up of extraterrestrials was alleged. I don't know if that's what they were alleged of a cover-up of non-human technology.
They did use that phrase a few times, but they never really went into it.
They said non-human. And Kirkpatrick here is using the word extraterrestrial. Okay. I wholeheartedly applaud congressional efforts to get to the truth about what UAP are and the risk to both pilot safety and national security. I'm also absolutely committed to transparency on both the historical mission and the operational mission. I don't know what that means. The historical mission and operational. What's the difference? He doesn't. I don't know if he says. As director of the AARO's amazingly talented, devoted, and highly motivated team, however, I cannot let yesterday's hearing pass without sharing how insulting it was to the Office of the Department of Defense and intelligence community who chose to join AARO. Many with not unreasonable anxieties about their career risks this will entail, that have been working diligently, tirelessly, and often in the face of harassment and animosity to satisfy their congressionally mandated mission. They are also truth seekers, as I am, but you certainly would not get that impression from yesterday's hearing. Why is he defending the DOD so much and in the intelligence community?
It's weird to lump those two together, especially because we often hear that those general umbrella groups are at odds with each other.
Yeah, I thought the AERO was really supposed to be a civilian-headed thing, and that they had certain clearances. Yeah, they could work with the DOD and intelligence, but it should be its own thing. And honestly, it should be. It should be its own thing, and they should have much more clearance than they do. But anyways, he's going to bat for him.
Isn't the AARO the office that Shatner was supposed to run?
That is correct. He's the one who's supposed to be answering the phones.
What is that?
In fact, you have the poster behind you.
Yeah, that's what that whole thing is about. We said when they were going to establish this thing, Shatner's going to be there fielding phone calls, navigating between different agencies to get to the bottom of this thing. And I don't know if he's done that.
What is that?
I don't know. What's he been doing? Maybe that's what he is doing.
To continue on with this, the AARO was established by law to investigate the allegations and assertions presented in yesterday's hearing. Allegations by its witnesses of retaliation to include physical assault and hints of murder are extraordinarily serious, which is why law enforcement is a critical member of the AARO team, specifically to address and take swift actions should anyone come forward with such claims. Yet, contrary to assertions made in the hearing, the central source for those allegations has refused to speak with AARO. Okay. Has he? I don't know that. He's claiming it. Furthermore, some of the information reportedly provided to Congress has not been provided to AARO. Probably, according to David Grush, because security clearance. Even though David Grush, the whistleblower, says he has talked to Kirkpatrick, submitted all this stuff to him in regards to alien crash retrievals and bodies and biologics, whatever that means. He says he's given it to him. So either Kirkpatrick is lying or David Grush is lying. The only way we're going to find out is getting these two guys in front of Congress at the same time, under oath, in front of TV cameras, strapped down to chairs and having electrotized to their nuts. And we shock them until they tell the truth.
For some of us, that's just Tuesday.
Yeah. So this is. I'll just go down here to the end. I am deeply disappointed that at the denigration of AARO's dedicated men and women hailing from the Department of Defense, intelligence community, and civil partners who are pouring their hearts out into working this issue on behalf of Congress. Oh. Congress told us to do this, and we're pouring our hearts out into it. We don't need to be made fun of or criticized because we're doing this because Congress asked us to. God, what a whiner! Can you hear this whiner?
Let them cry.
The AARO has the authorities and resources necessary to execute this mission to meet congressional intent. As we've stated before, AARO welcomes anyone with knowledge of any of these allegations or programs to talk with us in a safe, secure, and appropriately cleared environment. Rest assured, AARO will follow the data wherever it leads. Finally, to be clear, AARO has yet to find any credible evidence to support the allegations of any reverse engineering programs for non-human technology. Also, to be clear, none of the whistleblowers from yesterday's hearing ever worked for AARO or was ever representative to AARO, contrary to the statements made in the testimony and in the media. So, Kirkpatrick here is saying David Grush, the whistleblower, never worked with AARO in any capacity, even though that's what he is stated under oath during the congressional committee. So what the heck is going on around here?
Well, did he state that he worked for them, or that he just had because he kept referring to his interviews? Yeah. He interviewed a lot of people.
But I was under the impression during that he was interviewing people on behalf of AARO. He had a top level security clearance. He gathered information, presented it to Kirkpatrick, and Kirkpatrick said, whatever, I don't give a crap about this stuff. I'm ignoring this stuff. That's the impression I got out of the testimony.
Right, but I don't think, now you've raised a good question. Was he doing this, who was he doing this on behalf of? Because he took it to AARO, and that's where Kirkpatrick told him that he didn't care.
Me, Hulk Hogan.
He's doing it
So Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan has to do it.
Because had he been working on behalf of AARO to do the interviews and gather the information, you would think that just as any part of that they would have then reported all that through Kirkpatrick would have reported all that to Congress and whatnot. So now I'm confused.
It is confusing, and you'd imagine like if this is like a coordinated psyop, a coordinated one that had multiple different legs, multiple different agencies involved, they would have worked this thing out beforehand, so that the psyop it would have been a lot more coherent. And not less like Kirkpatrick was totally in the dark about this, that this was going to occur. And so he for whatever reason, released a statement via LinkedIn, which has been verified, which that is goofy in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is many layers of bullshittery here.
So Grush was working for the National Reconnaissance Office at the time, and then was seconded to the AARO. It's not entirely clear when he was getting it, when he started recording and gathering this information over the last 3 or 4 years, who was he doing it on behalf of?
Me, Hulk Hogan.
We already cleared that up. Hulk Hogan he's pulling the strings. He's the puppet master behind this entire thing.
As best I can find, he was working for the UAP task force as part of the NRO, which that task force was later expanded, given a big-ass budget, and is now the AARO. So maybe in that changing of the guard from whoever was running at the time until Kirkpatrick is now running it. Because remember, it was ATIP prior to that, I believe.
And there was also a program called BASS.
So yeah, as these have migrated, I think they've got different...
This is the way it works.
People running up different interests. So, I don't know.
Because, I mean, same thing, like Project Sign and Grudge kind of got rolled into Project Blue Book, different people, kind of similar missions, but it got rolled into different things. And so I guess legally you can say he never worked for AARO because it's true, but he worked for the UAP task force in some capacity, which may have some hierarchical they're beholden to the AARO. I don't know. It's all very murky.
Yeah. So UAP task force was part of Office of Naval Intelligence. Worked with the National Reconnaissance Office. That all got rolled into AARO because ATIP then. ATIP was so I think ATIP and that task force got rolled together to make AAR. I don't know. This is a mess.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
I agree, Howard Stern.
Well, a guy that I'd like to listen to, Richard Dolan. He seems to be fairly measured. I like his research. I've read a few of his books. I'm going to play a little bit of what he had to say about this. Because, while this news is exciting, it's fairly significant to have a congressional hearing in which these things are said, whether they're true or not. These things are being said, and that can change policy, budgets, and public perception, whether they're true or not. So I will play a little bit of this from Richard Dolan. Let me start up my my show leveler. Got to normalize, compress, boost, limit, EQ, and excite a little bit, and let's see what he has. Here we go.
You want a little bit of sparkle in there?
The exciter adds a little bit of sparkle. That's what it does. That's this intent right here. You throw this in there. Bingo, bongo. Here we go. I'll bring this up on the screen in a second. Here we go.
UFO, UAP narrative. What do I mean? You go back through the history, 1940s, 50s, and 60s. Something else. The U.S. government had Project Blue Book, which was the kind of like official statement, not just from the U.S. government on UFOs, but really from the establishment on UFOs. There were some private organizations back then, NICAP, APRO, a bunch of others, but they were easily brushed aside because, hey, U.S. Air Force was looking into it, Project Blue Book. Well, what was the problem with that? Blue Book ended after 1969. There was no United States government official statement on this matter. And so that left the field open to all the private organizations, MUFON and others. That wasn't really a problem for a long time, but I think it's become a problem now. So what are we seeing? The U.S. government is behind a complete rebranding of the subject of UFO to UAP. That's interesting. And we are now seeing all of these government people getting involved to take control over this. We've got NASA coming in. We've got the politicians now getting involved. We've got the military, DOD, making statements about all of this. You can see that they are now primed to be reconquesting the narrative of UFOs, now titled UAP. I don't think there's going to be any room for dissension on the future of the UFO subject. We're in the middle of a global revolution, in case you haven't bothered to look around, and I do not believe there's going to be any resistance that's going to be permitted to it on any level. That includes the UFO subject. Now, what are they going to do with testimony of people like Grush? That's really going to be an interesting thing to consider. I think David Grush is likely to be the victim of death by 1,000 cuts. I don't think that anyone in the major media is going to really try to go after him and wreck his credibility or smear him, but I think you're going to start seeing little things here and there to take him down a peg. Fravor and Graves, I think, are going to be off limits. They're just they've got too much solid reputation to go after, but they're also really not going after the system in the same way that Grush is.
So I think he nails it right there, where he said that once the government establishes a defined narrative on UAP, that's what it's going to be. And you won't be able to deviate from that narrative online. Not like today, not like the past 50 to 60 years, where there's stories of alien abductions, different ETs that come down. It is going to be one singular narrative, much like what we had during COVID or Iraq or anything like that. Anybody who deviates from that narrative will be un-American or anti-science or, whatever term they come up with. And I think they're trying to establish that narrative right now through these hearings, through the rebranding, just as Dolan says. And yeah, there is a global revolution going on, but it's happening via the elites, not from the poor and working class.
And you think the idea is they're going to build a single cohesive narrative, and that will be the only
that's the one you can talk about online. Yeah,
gotcha.
So
anything else will be debunked, conspiracy theory, false, whatever. But if you talk about it this way, then you're okay.
You're okay. Hypothetically, the government narrative. I don't know. I'm just making this up. The government narrative is that there are UFOs. There are aliens. They come from Alpha Centauri. They're 1,000 years more advanced than us, and they have somewhat hostile intent. If you deviate from that and say, no, they're interdimensional, they're billions of years older than us, and we live on a prison planet that is a soul recycling facility, you're going to be labeled a crackpot and a goofy conspiracy theorist. When right now, both theories are probably equally true or equally as valid, or you can at least consider
just as valid. Yeah. Well, similar to like we got with COVID. For the longest time, remember, it was lab created. No, it came from a wet market. No, it was a pangolin. Mm-hmm. Now we're kind of going back towards lab, but there's people out there who still say no. There's no evidence of that. Yet we have studies coming out basically saying that what was over 3 years ago stated almost as fact is now looking more and more likely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy, pal.
Yeah.
And just to wrap up the UFO nonsense for today, which I will
It's not
do.
nonsense.
No, I mean, this is very important stuff, but it is it will turn nonsensical. So I looked, and it does appear as though the RAND Corporation is now blogging about UFOs and UAP, and the Atlantic, which is a big time elite left-leaning. I don't even say what left. I guess just establishment narrative. They're talking about
I would
UFOs.
say it's fair to call them leftist.
I don't want to, like, there are some true progressive leftists out there that don't adhere to this global elitist agenda. And so,
well, right. I mean, is leftist and progressive the same thing? I would argue.
I don't know.
No. It's like,
Yeah.
I think there's differences between progressive, leftist, liberal, and they all have kind of different political philosophies, and they all get lumped together.
that's right.
I'm gay.
And that brings them all together. Alex.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the single thread that runs through them. Jesus.
Here's the headline from The Atlantic. UFOs are officially mainstream. Wow. And so, okay, we'll read down just a little bit of this from The Atlantic. So earlier today, 3 witnesses came before Congress to testify about their experiences with unidentified flying objects. So they're still using the old term here, unidentified flying objects, when the new branding is UAP.
Yeah, and I don't think UAP is going to catch on. I don't think
tough.
it's going to have the same cachet as UFO.
Yeah, I'm still hearing Tim Burchett, the rep who was supposed to chair the committee. He still uses the term UFO. And he's old school, like me. And so we, us old school dudes, cool dudes, we use the term UFO. It goes on to say a former Navy pilot spoke on a mysterious object that has been seen, with his own eyes and through radar, and how frequently pilots encounter them in the air. A retired Navy commander described the time that he pulled his jet up to a tic-tac shaped object hovering over the ocean, then wanted to suddenly speed up and vanish. The most anticipated remarks, however, came from former military intelligence official. His name's David Grush, who went public with his account last month. Grush told the House Oversight Committee on National Security that the American government has spent decades secretly recovering mysterious vehicles that have crashed on the ground and has determined that the material to be of non-human origin. The government also attempted to reverse engineer some of the technology, according to Grush, and is doing all this clandestinely, without proper supervision by Congress. You know, what's curious about Grush, and I forgot to mention this a few podcasts ago, is that there are photos of David Grush, I believe in 2021, hanging out with George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell. And this is during the time, I believe, when Grush was still working for the government. And so, obviously, Grush is interested in the UFO topic and maybe gravitated towards George Knapp, who was also, coincidentally, in the hearing, sitting front row center during the hearing. Is it possible that George Knapp and Corbell coached this person, David Grush?
You said there's photos of all 3 of them together, or he's
at a UFO conference. I believe there's a photo of Grush and Knapp at a UFO conference.
Trying to find
No, I mean, I like George Knapp. I think he does pretty good reporting. I love the book that he wrote about Skinwalker Ranch. I think he's fairly reasonable. I would hate to think that he has some sort of secret agenda other than just trying to expose this cover-up, this decades-long cover-up. And maybe, David Grush likes the topic. He's interested in the topic just like I am, and sought out George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell for some insight.
That seems more likely. Hey, yeah. I'm starting to see more information on this sort of thing. I have access to people who have said these sorts of things.
Yeah.
How should I go about kind of gathering this?
I think
that seems more likely.
Like, honestly, like the UFO topic is so dense, and there are people out there that have done way more research than I could ever. Like, if I had the authority to ask questions to people in the DoD or the aerospace community, like, where would you go? Like, yeah, you could go to a corporation, but who do you talk to in there? Maybe Knapp knows. Maybe Corbell knows. Certainly, people like Dark Journalist they have a different perspective on who to talk to, and that might be a different set of technologies that are used. So I don't put too much into that, but oh my God, I want to read. I gotta archive this. Can you archive this for me, Cratchit, real quick? I don't have my link to the archive.
Yeah, which link? Which article?
I'll send it over there. I got to get my archive. My new browser doesn't have the
magic button.
The magic button to archive this, and I want to read the last few paragraphs of the Atlantic.
Okay, coming back. There's your free version. Look at that. How fast was that?
Yay! We won the internets today. All right. Thank you. That's how you archive. In fact,
I like that little fill at the end there. That's my favorite.
It's the best when you have that. I'm going to archive this. Where you go? I'm going to bookmark this right now. Bookmark. Boom. Bookmark this tab. Boom. There we go. Okay. All right. So the Atlantic right here. So this is towards the middle of this article. The sentiment is not. I may should read about the sentiment. So it goes over hype surrounding the hearings, and there has been considerable hype. Says more about the people who tuned in than about Gresh's claims. Just as it did in the late 40s when stories of flying saucers over Washington State and crash landing in New Mexico captivated the nation. UFO fever today indicates that Americans feel that their government knows more than it's letting on. Well, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
I would say most people probably hope the government knows more than they're letting on, but at the same time, it makes you wonder, do they really?
That's a good point. We hope that they have answers. We hope that they know more than they're letting on. I guess it would be an incredible disappointment to realize that they've had 70 years and they haven't been able to figure anything out.
Yeah, nothing works here. They've been there 70 years.
That might be the most demoralizing of the information, that we can't do anything with this stuff. We don't have the right tools. They use Phillips, we use Flathead. And after that, there's nothing we can do.
Some sort of mismatch between imperial and metric. I don't get it.
Well, that sentiment is not new, nor is Americans' belief in conspiracy theories. Through research suggests that conspiracy thinking is not getting worse in the modern day United States. We are in a moment of acute public curiosity about and acceptance of conspiracyism.
Conspiracyism?
Yes, what it says, conspiracism or conspiracyism.
Conspiracisms.
Yeah. Compared with QAnon, vaccine microchips, and stolen elections, a big UFO cover-up might seem almost reasonable, even if that cover-up involves, as Grush previously claimed in the interview, a military discovering the dead pilots of alien craft. So, okay. The past several years have coincided with an unprecedented mainstreaming of UFO culture. In 2017, when an interstellar object showed up in our solar system, most scientists agreed that it was an asteroid or a comet, but some said it could have been an alien spaceship. That is true. It could have been.
Could have been Santa Claus, 8 tiny reindeer, too.
It could have been anybody. So, let's see how this thing winds up. Congress has contributed to this mainstreaming too. Under the instruction of lawmakers, the Pentagon last year established a special office dedicated to investigating reports of unexplained phenomenon in the sky, at sea, and on land. The effort has been unusually bipartisan by both far-right Republicans and progressive Democrats, calling on military to become more transparent. Well, that's good. Yeah, typically when things start to get bipartisan like this, that's when you really got to start to question what the hell's going on. It's never good. So how does this piece of shit article end up?
You didn't pay for.
Yeah. Gresh was careful to tell lawmakers that he was only speaking to the facts as I have been told them. That is, he has not seen any evidence of alien wreckage or its inhabitants himself. And in general, though his claims are steeped in the language of authority, He simply has not been able to offer any concrete proof. The news websites that first published Grush's claims reported that the Pentagon had cleared him to speak publicly. But that means only that his remarks don't contain classified information, not that they are true. Testifying under oath before Congress is not a mere measure of truth either. Outside the hearing, some lawmakers seemed like they didn't know what to make of his claims. The prospect of extraterrestrial interlopers may be a national security question, but it's also a scientific one. Science requires data, and secondhand accounts just aren't data. Well, when NASA brings back rocks from the moon, those rocks are shared with qualified people. Well, where are those rocks now?
Didn't they lose them?
I thought they lost the tapes, they lost the rocks.
And they had to, like, buy them back from people at one point?
So obviously they don't care about data. Not too much when they just lose.
Hey, where's those rocks?
I don't know.
In the rock pile over.
Who knows?
Threw them out back.
Where are they?
Fuck you.
Oh, thank you.
They're out in their little flower bed in front of NASA headquarters with a key under it in case you lost your key.
It goes on. So David Spiegel, an astrophysicist at Princeton, who chaired NASA's Committee on UFOs, told me, "Imagine we had some samples of some craft. We really want to understand what it was. You would make materials for those small samples available for labs anywhere in the world. In other words, meaningful testimony would show evidence of alien ships and pilots, not just tell the public about them. That would be pretty awesome," he said. But that's not what we've got. Today, we heard some extraordinary claims, and to quote Carl Sagan, they require extraordinary data.
Oh, yeah, bullshit.
So there you go. The Atlantic's writing about this stuff. So,
well, I would say if nothing else, even and we brought this up a few months ago, that in the last 3 years, maybe 3 years, we've seen a huge uptick in these sorts of articles, skeptical or not, but these sorts of articles in mainstream publications, whereas 3 or 5 years ago, it would not have been there.
No, they would have laughed it right off. They wouldn't have given it that much attention. And even towards the end of that Atlantic article, they're like, yeah, we're open to it. Just give us the bodies. Give us the craft. We'd love to test this thing. Everyone would love to see it. Everyone. And maybe that's why it's so special and hidden away, because everyone wants it.
Or it's going to be incredibly disappointing and it comes out looking like some clunky thing from the 1870s with a immortal alien that comes out like, I don't know, we're just scientists looking at stuff.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that...
We don't care about any of this. You guys are all stupid.
You guys are dumb.
Or that alien who said our planet sucked and he went back to a different shell.
Yeah, and I think that may be why, that might lend credence to why he said, David Grush said, biologics. Like what they found, they were the shell of the pilots. Not the pilots themselves, because their consciousness comes and goes. And that what they found were basically the exoskeleton that can be inhabited by the consciousness of the true aliens. And that's why he had to frame it like that. Yeah, they're alien, technically, bodies, but they're alien exoskeletons. It's kind of like in Independence Day, where the aliens that were in those ships, well, they were huge and big, but on the interior of those big hulking alien bodies were the small little aliens. And it might be something like that.
Like a big pressure suit.
Yeah, a big, giant biological pressure suit. So,
get Will Smith punched in the face.
Mm-hmm.
You'd all be dead now if it wasn't my David.
Yeah, I know.
None of you do.
I'm fly. I'm pilot.
Okay. I fly.
Did you know, by the way, they reshot that ending, and he initially was not allowed to fly one of the jets, and he had to fly up to fight the aliens in his crappy little crop duster?
Oh, he did? I love that. That'd be awesome. Why'd they keep that? His like biplane?
Yeah. There's you can find footage of that. Independence Day biplane.
And so he rammed his crop duster into the alien
it's exactly
mothership?
The same, but yeah, he was just flying the other plane.
I'd love to. Why'd they keep that in there? I know it's goofy, but the entire movie is goofy.
I don't know.
Who directed it? Michael Bay?
No, it was
Schumacher.
The German guy.
Oh,
Emmerich, Roland Emmerich.
No, it wasn't him.
It was
Tom
Shimabukuro?
It's not Thomas Shimabukuro.
Thomas Shimabukuro.
I'll throw it in Carrot Shop. Skip to 3 minutes in. Here's a link. Go to 3 minutes.
Okay. Go to 3 minutes in. Okay. I'll bring this up. We're going to watch Independence Day. That's what we're doing here. Because I want to see the original. 3 minutes in, huh?
3 minutes.
So this scene exists in the movie as is, but it ends at a certain point.
Oh, this crappy guy talking over it.
Okay, here we go. 3 minutes in.
All right, you alien assholes. In the words of my generation, up yours! Come on! Come on! Go! 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 Go!
Good luck, buddy.
I need to go to the bathroom.
We actually came up with that line on second unit while we were shooting that. So later when we reshot the scene, we actually tried to recapture.
Oh, okay. They're just kind of they
you guys talking through it.
They had a lot of different lines that they were testing out there. So,
but
What
it was
the hell is going on here?
and that was one of them.
And what time is it?
Always shop at Arby's.
What is she doing in charge of Ukraine?
Nah, that didn't make any sense.
What is Twitter?
Terrible. What is Twitter in 1995?
Well, he had advanced knowledge because he was abducted by aliens.
What gender are you?
That's a better final line.
That would be a better line. So, yeah, they reshot that whole thing. I don't know. It kind of makes more sense from the standpoint of, it makes less sense, actually, for him to suddenly, be this crappy, drunk, former washed-out pilot who's now flying a tip-top Navy fighter jet. But all of a sudden, he's got his crappy plane, shows up at the end, makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, the crappy plane does make more sense. And actually, it actually is more of a sacrifice because no one asked him to do that. He took that upon himself to hop in his plane and go up there and destroy their ship. Where the other one, they were asking for any old pilots that were around that they could retrain within 15 minutes to get in these planes. You got 15 minutes to show, so I can show you how to fly these super advanced planes.
Well, the funny thing is they probably could teach someone how to do basics in that, but they're not teaching you how to land, which makes you skeptical as you're sitting out there going, wait a minute, I don't know how to land this thing. Nah, don't worry about it.
You're not going to land.
You don't need to know how to land. What?
Well, what do you say? Let's see if we can open up the phone lines a little bit here.
Phone lines,
yeah. 614-388-9109 or Skype directly and using our big dumb mouth.
Let's go ahead and take the phone calls.
And we'll see if we can talk to some people out there.
An update from Joe on his apartment wars.
Oh, yeah? How's apartment wars going?
No, I say maybe
you call in. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to hear if you've got something to say. I'll read down while we're waiting. I got some more headlines here. There is some good trail cam footage of an alleged skunk ape in Florida, and that's like the Bigfoot of Florida. I got a top 10 unbelievable coincidences that will leave your head just going crazy. And I like crazy coincidences. Maybe we can.
I like top 10s because they're usually terrible.
I love lists, and it is Saturday. That's a good list. And then this other headline that I have is why entire societies can suffer panic attacks, which I haven't read through. I just saw the headline. It's like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. Entire societies going through panic attacks. And then WorldCoin. Have you heard of WorldCoin, Cratchit?
Is that another crypto, or is this a central bank digital currency?
It's another crypto. And I don't know a lot about it other than apparently in order for you to get in on the ground floor with this thing, you got to submit your biometrics to it. So I saw people in line standing to hand over their biometrics in order to get on board with WorldCoin.
No.
Which that just sounds insane.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well.
I don't even like giving signatures to my bank.
Like the whole, like, like even with your thumbprint or fingerprint to open up your computer, I don't like doing that. Same thing with your phone. They have that with a thumbprint on the phone for Macs. Now that they upgraded that to like a forward-facing camera to scan your face to open up your phone, I don't do any of that garbage.
But no, Mike, it's just checked against the local thing. It doesn't go anywhere. Oh wait, maybe it does.
I'm not gonna trust them. All right.
So I could show up with my mic mask and get in your computer.
I probably I don't know how accurate those cameras are. Like when it comes to like using a mask or like a deep fake kind of overlay or printout to fool that. I don't know. But let's talk to Booberry.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Booberry? What's on your mind?
I was going to comment real fast on the pre-show talk that you all were discussing before you got started for today's episode.
I forget what we were talking about.
It was the No Agenda stream. I really don't think. I really don't think y'all have any chance of getting knocked off the stream.
We didn't say anything bad.
We didn't. Yeah, us two didn't.
I've heard all sorts of crazy hot takes, and Sir Bemrose isn't the type, or even Void Zero for that matter. It's not. They're not authoritarian in that matter,
Oh, well, for anybody who doesn't know, all Joe said was he thinks the No Agenda guys, John C. and Adam, they think everything's an op. And Joe's opinion is that not everything can be an op. And I think it's like boiled down to that. And it's just an
You don't
opinion.
get to do that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I do get to have an opinion. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just a difference of opinion. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't, just because there is a differing opinion, it doesn't mean that it's going to automatically disqualify it from anything,
Well, I said it in a much more measured way than what Joe can come off a little abrasive. I don't know if you know that. But,
witch. That ugly ass witch.
Yeah, he comes off a little abrasive.
So, Booberry, to your knowledge, no one has ever been booted off. Do you think we could be the first? Do you think we could amp it up and maybe be the first show to get kicked off the stream?
You just got to start playing ads. You wouldn't be the first.
Well, Mike was playing ads at the beginning.
Yeah.
Play those ads.
Ads from 1990. I don't know if they're still relevant, but there might be some good products out there that people still want to be a part of.
We should start running ads exclusively for that 900 number Hulk Hogan call-in.
Oh,
service.
yeah, it'd be great. Does Hulk Hogan have a 900 number?
Yeah, you've run that one before.
There was one show that comes to mind. Who are these podcasts? I always fuck that name up. They were on the stream for some time, but then they started running the Dollar Shave, What's My Nuts ads, and that was that.
Well, I mean, purple mattresses or the meal service crap.
If we run ads, there are products that they don't want us talking about. They don't want us to advertise for them. Like if I do run an advertisement for Coke doesn't want us talking about them. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Stay away from don't talk about our product.
Who are you? Get out of my house.
We actively hurt products that we talk about, especially with all the fast food places. Arby's doesn't want us talking about them. No, not at all. But okay, well, thanks for clearing up, Booberry. Yeah, I mean, I think we're...
Well, I don't know if I cleared anything up. I just wanted to toss 2 cents in.
Sure. I mean, we're all kind of adults here,
We try. Yeah. All right, y'all have a good rest of your show, and happy Saturday.
Yeah, happy Saturday. Bye.
Thanks, Blueberry.
Are you a fake caller?
What's that?
No, he was not a fake caller. It was a real caller.
The macho...
Where's that Hulk phone line?
It's 1-900-454-HULK. Everyone call it right now. Ask your parents for permission.
You may do so by dialing 1-900-45-4-HULK. It's only $1.49 for the first minute, 99 cents for each additional minute. And kids, again, if you're making the call, make sure you have your parents' permission. You're actually talking with
Hulk Hogan. Bobby the Brain here, broadcast journalist, Primetime Wrestling. Tell me, what is your reaction to the photos that Ric Flair showed? Yeah, the ones with him and Elizabeth at poolside.
I'm going to get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
Probably shouldn't say that to kids.
Yeah, Hulk, no, these are kids calling.
Yeah, you shouldn't be cranking knobs when it comes to...
Hey, brother, I need toilet paper.
I'm going to try to get through this video without crying, but I...
All right, okay.
That's all he says when you call.
It's just this one.
I'm going to try to get through this video without crying, but I need to address this and take accountability. To all my pog champs and piss babies, I'm sorry pilled. To all the himbo simps and normie incels, F in the chat.
Yeah, no shit.
Is you gotta expect the unexpected.
Okay. All right.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, past, present, future.
Oh, yeah.
That's not Hulk.
That's the Macho Man. There's some confusion on the phone line.
Who picked up?
We crossed lines. It's now a party line. It's a Royal Rumble party line.
You hear Hulk in the background yelling at him to get off the phone. Don't pick up that line.
Caller, you are on the air.
Is this the Hulk Hogan phone line?
Yeah.
No, sorry. It's Lifeline.
Lifeline calling in from South America, correct?
From Chile.
Chile, yes. I was right. South America, right?
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
They consider it all to be one continent, though.
Yeah.
All of America united.
Did you ever hear about that time slip story from Chile that I was talking about?
No, I never heard of that. That was from the 70s?
1977, the year of our Lord.
I looked it up. It happened in the Atacama Desert. Where most UFO things tend to happen here. Between Peru and Chile. That area is kind of like a no man's land.
Really? So there's a lot of weird anomalies and stories from that area.
Yeah. Especially if you look up Lake Titicaca. It has a funny name, but around there they've actually seen orbs too, like those glowing orbs like you were talking about.
Yeah. There were some studies like these glowing orbs, often known as Earth lights. I got to look up the study. There was a scientific study done, I believe, in the 2000s by a group out, I want to say Norway, definitely Northern Europe, that spent an immense amount of time like researching these orbs. And they called them Earth lights, and sometimes they were naturally occurring, at least that's what they were able to determine, naturally occurring Earth phenomenon. But when they appeared, the town that was closest to this activity, oftentimes people in the town experienced alien abduction-like scenarios, whether it was just a figment of their imagination or they actually experienced this stuff, but also paranormal events happen. So I'll see if I can dig up that study. It's not often talked about, but I'll read it on the show.
Everyone in the town experienced it?
I mean, not everyone, but a significant part of the population experienced
the cool
weird
people did.
Yeah, the hippies, the beatniks, all those people experienced weird phenomenon when these Earth lights appeared. Now, I'll see if I can find the study. I saved it a long time ago. I had these intents to go through it. I just never got around to it. But
that's similar to the thing around Lake Titicaca. That everyone seemed to have these weird events once they saw these Earth lights. And that's why it's known as one of the hotspots.
Well, isn't the Atacama Desert where all those giant drawings are that you can only see from either the tops of mountains or from space?
Yeah, the Nazca
really?
lines.
So that's where the Nazca lines are. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Freaked out.
Also, where they faked the moon too. For the moon
It was
landing.
in New Mexico.
Why do you think they tend to be in deserts? All these UFO hotspots. That was my original question.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Could it be because they're also lizard people? Lizard people are aliens?
Well, I would say some of the most notable UFO events do happen in deserts. Maybe that's because in desert environments, the air and the atmosphere is a lot more clear to see these UFOs. Not as much tree cover. I mean, there are definitely UFO events that happen like in the Pacific Northwest and where there is a lot more forests, but maybe they're just not able to be seen as easily because of the tree coverage.
Those could be Bigfoots, though. There are no desert Bigfoots.
That's I don't know if there are reports of desert Bigfoot. That's a good observation. It's something I should look into.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, thanks, Lifeline. Some good points
Blow
here.
me up.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Your phone's bad.
All right.
So a quick search, I did find footage of a desert Bigfoot.
Really? Okay, let's get that up on screen.
Let's see if I can find a better link. Oh, this embedded crap. I don't know. This is going to be. This may look too terrible, but
Okay.
Where's the actual video of this? I hate when they they just show you frames of it.
This comes from the Daily Star UK.
So you know you can trust it.
Yeah. Just loading. So here it is right there. Oh, boy. Yeah, the Desert Bigfoot. This comes from... Where's this from? Where'd it come from? Where'd it be? I mean, it's pretty tall and lanky. Like, this thing looks pretty spindly. But, I mean, look at that guy. That guy looks crazy.
Look at that guy.
Kind of hunched over. I think probably at least 10 feet tall, if he's a foot. The clip posted on YouTube has gone viral after being viewed more than 200,000 times, but some of the views were left skeptical on whether the footage had been faked. One commenter saying, extremely poor camera quality. I don't believe it.
Yeah, it looks like CGI, honestly.
Okay, well, that very well could be.
So here's a different one. Let's see if I can get this link up.
Okay.
This is probably more... So here we have actual good quality video footage of Bigfoot in the desert.
This looks like a guy in a costume. Wretched.
It's Bigfoot on vacation in the desert.
Look at that face.
It's just some guy walking around in a full Bigfoot costume in the desert, sightseeing, taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing goofy glasses, I would say novelty glasses, and greeting tourists on the hiking trail.
But look at the quality of that footage. That's
4K.
Footage.
That's easy. I mean, it's great footage. There's no doubt about that. So I guess this is a better piece of footage here.
Bigfoot comes right for the camera. He talks to you.
He's very friendly. He's eating granola, and now he appears to be
bagging
rolling
his own trash. He's leaving it better than he
is bagging his own trash. And he's making himself a toilet so he can crap in that bag. Okay.
And then throw that bag at a passing car.
Yeah. That's what you do. I tell you what, I will save the rest of my stories until the next podcast. I'm kind of curious to see what Cretched may have over there.
All right.
Let's see what we got.
Fuck that shit, George.
I mean, we could do the top 10 coincidences, but I think I'm going to read through it and I'll narrow it down to the top 5 coincidences.
You're afraid that the top 10 won't hold up?
I'd like to vet it a little bit. I don't want to go in blind. You know, I think the listeners would appreciate a little bit more research into this as opposed to just going in blind.
All right. Well, how about this story? Because we like this type of news.
I do.
It's weird, strange, oddball. Oops, that's not even the right link. What the hell? Why won't the link work? I broke something. Copy link, pasta link. It's a contest. It's food related. It involves a national organization. We love this sort of news.
Okay. Well, I do love news. There's no doubt about that, especially when it comes to contests and things like that. Is there audio that I need to play?
This one is the local story. I think there is a local.
Let's find it. We'll bring it up on the screen. We'll figure it out on the fly.
Maybe not.
All right. Well, here it is. Subway to give away free sandwiches for life to one person who agrees to legally change name to Subway.
Oh, really?
So how many free sandwiches can you get per day?
All of them.
Yeah, if you keep going in there, and then I can go out in the street and resell them on the black market, then for just changing my name to Subway Mike, then I could do that.
Okay.
Well, I thought you might be interested in this one because you do prefer nicknames, and
I do.
You're trying to bring back crypto, but I suggest Subway.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Subway. It's not a bad name. It's really not. It's a pretty cool name. Yeah, I think so. If out of all the nicknames you could have, Subway is pretty cool. It's not bad.
Shaky Stevenson, Joseph.
No, Shaky. Well, Shaky had his own problem.
Stevenson's pretty good.
He should change his name to Subway just to forget that whole accident with the poop thing happened.
Shaky Stevenson Subway. Yes.
Yeah. Well, down there in Tampa, Florida, one lucky person will receive free Subway sandwiches for life as part of the restaurant's campaign to find their biggest fan, as long as that person commits to legally changing their name to Subway.
That's good news.
Subway fans can visit subwaynamechange.com between 9 a.m. on August 1st and midnight on August 4th. I'm going to go there right now. Do you think my wife would be mad if I did this without telling her?
I would suggest you do this as a surprise for her.
Hey, happy anniversary. My name's Subway.
You have to legally call me Subway now.
Hilarious.
To put, and people at work have to call me Subway because it's my legal name.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's 2023. If they can get HR involved because you referred to somebody by the wrong pronouns, you can go after people by your name. This is a good ploy. Now that I think about it.
Neighborhood nuisance.
It would be a neighborhood nuisance after that I changed my name.
What if you I'm just thinking about this. At work, if you went through the process of legally changing your name to just a regular name, you went from Mike to Steve, and you demand that everyone call you that, and then 3 months later you changed to George, and you kept doing that.
Yeah, it is a real pain in the ass, though, to change your name, though. It ain't easy. You got to go through Social Security if you want that, and legal documents, banking. It's a real pain in the ass to change your name. After I changed my name to Midnight Mike, it's just a nightmare. I'm never changing it again. That's my full name, Midnight Mike. My last name is Mike. First name, Midnight.
Shaky Stevenson.
No, I'm not Shaky Stevenson. So here's the actual URL we can go to once August 1st hits to sign up to change your name. But
Tuesday.
Think about, do you think there are people changing their name right now in anticipation of getting free Subway? Like, are they only choosing one person to do this?
It says here they're choosing one person. So out of everybody who changes their names for this, they're picking one winner.
That seems like a bit of a gamble. I want a bit of a guarantee if I'm going to change my name and go through that hassle that I'm going to get free Subway. Okay, the winner will receive $750 to cover the cost of legally changing their name, along with $50,000 in Subway gift cards, according to rules. Is that in addition to the free sandwiches?
No, that's all you get. You actually don't get the free sandwiches. They give you $50,000 worth of gift cards.
Well, that's not the deal. That's not like the deal should be free sandwiches for life. That's what it says. Now, if I live to 130, hypothetically, if I live to 130 and I eat Subway every day for a year,
Subway. Oh God,
I spend $6 every ding dong day at Subway.
Your colon is going to be thanking you for that one.
That's good food. The winner will be chosen via random drawing on August 7th, according to official sweepstakes. I already know who's going to win. A guy named Subway. That's who's going to win.
Some guy who's already named Subway?
Yeah. Subway has about 37,000 restaurants in 100 countries and territories. So this guy is basically, if you change your name, you're going to be like the Lord Humongous of Subway. You're going to be able to just go in there and dominate any restaurant and say, I want 15-foot-long sandwiches right now. And you better give it to me because legally, that's my name. And the sweepstakes the rules are clear. Are they?
Do you have to choose like a single name, like Cher or Madonna, or can you still have your last name?
I would like to know that too. Can you have a first and last name, like Footlong Subway? Like my first name's Footlong, my last name's Subway.
Let's see. I'm reading through the rules here. It says who legally changed their first name to Subway. During the promotion period, visit subwaynamechange.com and complete an official form, including your full name, email address, date of birth. Then agree if selected. Okay. All right. It's reversed. If selected, you commit to changing your first name. So you don't have to do it first.
I see. So you don't have to do it in anticipation to enter. You're selected, and then you have a chance to chicken out.
At which point they'll probably go to the second, third, fourth, fifth, person who the runner-up. Now, here's the question, though. What if you either already changed, or do you think they'll give precedence for people who have already changed their name or who already have that name?
No. Well, how would they know that they already changed their name if this is going to be a true, lottery system?
Yeah, but if you submit the entry form and then send them a photo of your driver's license and your first name is already Subway.
I see what you're saying, though, but that's a bias. And that and that is certainly putting the other people who are willing to do it at a disadvantage. It's just that they're hedging their bets that they won't be chosen. I see. You want like a different level of commitment from the participants. You want these people to go in gung-ho, that we know you're willing to do it. You've already done it, so you're a true Subway fanatic. Therefore, you deserve to be a winner more than all these other losers who haven't even changed their name yet.
Right, and extra bonus points given to those who enter this contest who can show the medical bills from already eating Subway 3 times a day.
So yeah, the prize is a check, prepaid card, $750 to reimburse winners for the cost of legally changing their name, and $50,000 worth of Subway gift cards, probably individual gift cards worth.
Yeah, what denomination?
$10.
Those are $1. Here's 50,000 cards, each worth $1.
Yes, exactly. $50,000 worth of Subway gift cards that can be used to buy Subway food for the rest of the winner's life, fulfilled at one time. Interesting. Fulfilled at one time?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm reading that same sentence there.
So you have to buy $50,000 worth of Subway at one time, and so I have a bunch of rotting Subway sandwiches in my yard?
Or what they mean is that, does that phrase refer to you'll get one $50,000 delivery of gift cards?
We better hold on to that card. That's crazy.
I lost my card. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. You got to hold on to that.
I'm changing my name to Quiznos in protest. It says if a potential winner cannot be contacted within a reasonable time period, if the potential winner will forfeit the prize, and an alternate winner may be selected from among all remaining eligible entries.
Okay.
So if you start the process of changing your name, but you live in a state that takes way too long to go through that, they may you may be done. They'll be like, yeah, we'll give it to this other guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay,
potential winner will be selected in up to 3 alternates. So there's only 4 people.
Okay.
That's an
elite group of people.
Now, what if you have a terrible last name? So your first name's now Subway, but you have a terrible last name like Vomit or
Tom Shimabukuro.
Subway
Thrombocotopedia.
Subway Shimabukuro.
Or Samomomomomomomomomo.
Yeah.
Big Jim Tucker.
So you
Subway Tucker.
Big Subway Tucker.
Yeah, I guess that's correct. If your name is James and you go by Jim, and everyone knows you as Big Jim, and you change your name to Subway, are you now Big Subway?
Big Subway Tucker. I would say yes. I would say that is appropriate. Although the rule, the judges at Subway will have to rule on this.
Could they also say, well, if you go by Big Subway, we'd prefer you be known as Footlong.
Footlong Subway Tucker. I agree. That is more appropriate. It's brand safe. It's on brand.
That's on brand. What if your last name's Hitler? Do you think they'd let you win?
Subway Hitler.
They'd find some way to from disqualifying you on that one.
Yeah, probably. They don't want to be associated with you.
Oh, here's okay.
What about Trump enters? It would be Subway Trump.
There you go.
Would they let Trump do this? Yeah, maybe.
What if your last name, because it's a common last name, but it's also a competing restaurant, what if your last name is McDonald?
Oh, Subway McDonald. I think they might reject that because it conflicts with the brand, and they would probably also reject Trump because they don't want to be divisive. So the Subway Trump, so President Subway Trump, even though that would be great to have President Subway Trump, I don't think they would do. They might reject him.
That's your show art for the episode, by the way. Is President Subway Trump. He's always just got sub sandwiches he's handing out to people.
Yeah.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times.
Also, what if your last name, because it's a little more rare these days, but it is an actual last name. What if your last name is Sandwich?
Yeah.
And you're no longer Mike Sandwich. You're now Subway Sandwich.
You have to imagine. I'm just assuming here, ladies, that mostly guys are applying for this thing. I don't see a lot of women doing this. I could be wrong.
That would be an interesting person to win, though.
I would say that if a woman did get the name changed, that men are a lot more forgiving. They don't care as long as you're nice, you're attractive. They don't care what your real name is. I'm assuming.
They know you've got free food.
Yeah, and free food. You're self-sufficient. That's great. Dinner's always served. But
hey, babe, let's go to Subway. Damn it.
But for a guy to change his name to Subway, and to basically eat nothing but Subway. That's a turnoff for a woman. They're going to say this guy doesn't have it together. He's self-sufficient, but his entire apartment is littered in Subway wrappers. He smells like Subway constantly.
What, you're saying he doesn't throw away the trash?
No, you don't. Guys don't do that. Not when they're single.
I like how you immediately go, guy living in some sort of slovenly trash pile, just nothing but Subway wrappers.
Covered. His whole entire apartment is just packed with Subway wrappers. Jeez. It's probably Trump. Trump's sitting alone in his studio apartment in Florida, eating Subway alone, watching the Gorilla Channel.
Loves that Gorilla Channel.
Loves it. All right, next story.
All right.
In my bathroom, there's a big bottle of Lysol. Will somebody run in there and get that for me?
Because it smells like Subway in here.
Subway.
All right, since you just brought it up, I've got a gorilla story.
Oh, good. My neck of the woods. Ohio's Columbus Zoo thought this gorilla was a male, then it gave birth to a baby.
Oh, really?
Maybe it wasn't.
That said, it is 2023, so
we don't know. Zookeepers at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium arrived to a pair of unexpected discoveries Thursday morning. A newborn baby gorilla and the news that its mother wasn't a male gorilla.
Hey, that male gorilla just shat out a kid.
Yeah.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
When did he eat that?
But how could the faculty or facility not know its 8-year-old Sully was actually a female and it was pregnant? Yeah, they didn't go down there and check its junk and its.
Oh, they get into that in this article.
Well, gorillas don't have prominent sexual organs, and the males and females mostly look alike until around age 8, the zoo said in a release, noting that it's only later in life that males start to develop their large size silver backs and distinctive head bumps. What about the penis? They don't develop.
They never get that.
They never develop that? Okay.
Penis man.
Along with the hard to distinguish features, veterinarians at the zoo where the gorilla was born took a hands-off approach with their care and allowed the primate to be cared for by its mother. Well, good. Shouldn't that be what normally should happen?
It almost sounds like these people were being lazy.
Yeah.
Hey, is that gorilla okay? I haven't been over there in weeks.
I don't know. It could be a guy. It could be a girl. I don't know. Maybe a baby.
Maybe it's a baby.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a Subway. What's the new gorilla named?
What is it? Can we name it Subway?
Can they name it Subway and they could enter the contest? This gorilla sponsored by Subway.
Oh, when Sully arrived in Columbus, she was a young and healthy animal. Sully is not that far away from Subway. There's an S in there, there's a U in there, and there's a Y in there. Mm-hmm. We can make this work. The pregnancy was also missed because gorillas rarely show outward signs that they are carrying because newborns are smaller than human babies and gorillas naturally have large abdomens. You call them fat? You don't got to call them fat.
It's fat people with little wangs.
Yeah, you don't got to call them. You're denigrating the gorillas. You're saying they don't have large penises. You're basically saying they're all kind of fat, which, the gorilla community is going to be pretty upset.
You're going to get a letter.
With the gestation period for gorillas being 8.5 months, the zoo estimates Sully became pregnant in the fall.
That's some good math.
Yeah, that's great math there, guys. Sometime in the fall.
Top scientists working on it.
The zoo says the adorable infant appears to be a healthy female. Well, how do you know?
Yeah, you screwed up the last one.
You don't know.
I don't trust any of the information coming out of these guys. Is there even a zoo there?
It seems like they're kind of it's kind of not really a zoo or it's run by a bunch of imbeciles. The veterinarian and the animal care teams have not yet approached the infant. Well, how do you know it's female then? You're making some guesses. It's a 50% chance. Really, we flipped a coin. It's a female.
Got it wrong last time. Can't get it wrong twice in a row, right? We're due.
They're giving them time to bond with one another and with the rest of the troop, but we'll conduct a wellness exam soon. Okay, a DNA test will be performed later to determine the newborn's father. Okay, so we can call Maury Povich on this one. He is an expert.
Line up all the gorillas and they're going to come in.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a man.
Oh, no. We don't
Subway,
know.
you are not the father.
We don't know that for sure, but let's see here. What else? Is there anything else important in the story? I don't think
so. Just more the fact that they screwed this one up and they're just taking guesses at the next one.
They're really just kind of like they have to feel pretty stupid at this point. So, all right. Well, we'll move on here, please. Here we go.
Well, as you can see, we're very weird.
All right, you want to stay with some weird animal news?
Sure.
You don't get a choice. I already put it in there.
Okay.
You may have seen this one. It's been making the rounds.
Okay. I do like animal news.
Not this kind.
Well, I didn't see the story. Okay, here we go. Man spends $22,000 to become a border collie dog.
I love that headline.
Oh. Am I looking at a dog or a human?
Yeah.
Okay. A Japanese man who spent $20,000 to become a dog has finally taken his first walks and immediately made some canine friends.
Okay.
Known only as Taco, the man spent 2 million yen, or $22,000, on a hyper-realistic border collie costume to fulfill his lifelong dream of becoming an animal. Okay.
It's kind of my reaction to this, too.
In recent updates shared with his almost 30,000 YouTube subscribers, Taco was seen playing in his backyard on all fours and performing tricks in exchange for treats.
This is quite the story.
Who's feeding the treats to this man?
Subway.
Is this considered a furry?
I'm not sure because this guy's like trying to be like a trans species, I think is the term.
Yeah, right? This is like beyond furry. Like furry are people who like to dress up like animals, but they're like, they walk upright and they go to conventions and they have real jobs. This person is like, wants to look exactly like a border collie and walk around on all fours and be fed treats. So
okay.
But now he has ventured into public for the first time to reveal his new look. In a pair of surreal videos posted to his YouTube channel, I Want to Be an Animal, Taco was seen being taken out for a walk on a leash, sniffing at other dogs in the park and rolling around the floor. He's going to be mauled by a pit bull.
Yeah, some dog is going to kick this dude's ass.
This is not good. This is not going to be good for this person. Yeah.
Neighborhood nuisance.
Yeah, he is a neighborhood nuisance. He's walking around peeing on stuff because this guy is going to take human-sized dumps on people's lawns, pretending and peeing everywhere. This is awful. Taco's grand debut, which was captured while he was filming a segment for a German TV station, seemed to be well received by passerbys and other dogs who appeared curious. It wasn't clear whether they realized Taco was a natural-born dog. It appears to be some sort of looking at this thing, it looks like some sort of animatronic, some kind of weird Frankenstein, Jim Henson creation. It is crazy looking.
Oh, look at that! Look at that demon, boy!
I put the link to his YouTube channel in the Carrot Shop where he's got just lots of videos of this thing in action. It's creepy weird because it does, I will say, from the standpoint of it being a costume, it is a very high quality, well done dog costume.
Yeah, it looks great.
But when you see him moving around, it is just uncanny valley levels of creepy.
And just to put this in perspective, this guy has 30,000 subscribers. We have 10,000. More people want to watch a guy dressed as a dog than a couple buffoons talk about the news. And so
probably jerk off to it, too.
Probably.
Weirdos.
Our show or the dog?
I meant our show, but, hey, they maybe like dogs better.
Es ist wirklich
So they just have footage of him walking around
and rolling
German
over.
TV host. But the creepy thing is, he still waves like a person. Dogs' paws don't move that way.
Yeah, cool, buddy. Thank you. Be careful. Are you good?
You are every parent's worst nightmare.
Oh, there's another little doggy.
It's just
yeah, it's awful.
Weird.
Good, now we're having fun.
He's scared. He's scared. What's so much bigger?
It's kind of creepy.
Hello.
Because, like, if it was just like a gag, like I'm doing this as a YouTuber for a gag, but I think this person really wants to live this way.
Well, if he wants to live that way, why is he still waving his paws like a person?
I don't know. So, in introduction to the YouTube channel, Taco explained via a series of written notes translated from Japanese that he doesn't speak in his videos since he wants to be a dog. Nice to meet you. I became a rough collie. That's what he says here. I became a rough collie because I wanted to be an animal. Please let me know your request for the video you would like me to see. You would like me to see in the comments. So it's Japanese translation. Probably some off there. Taco says he hides his human identity because he doesn't want to be judged by people he knows. Okay.
My guy.
I want my hobbies to be known, especially by the people I don't want my hobbies to be known, especially by the people I work with. They think it's weird that I want to be a dog for the same reason why I can't show my real face. Okay. I mean, it is weird. I mean, but there are weirder things on this planet. And so, like, in the grand scheme of weirdness, it's not that bad. It's just, for me, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do this. I wouldn't want to spend $20,000. I'm not going to go home and tell my wife, I bought a costume for $20,000, and by the way, call me Subway.
Yeah, and legally changed my name to Subway the dog. It's all to win a contest.
This is all for free food, baby.
By the way, I didn't win.
So I'm basically a dog named Subway with no Subway. My friends and family seemed very surprised to learn that I became an animal. I would say so. I would say that's
like when he just showed up to work one day.
Yeah, dogs can't type. What are you doing here?
What are you afraid that guy was a crappy typer? Anyway.
Stop going around smelling everyone's ass. Get out of here. I'm gonna put a shock collar on you to get you in line. Put up an invisible fence around the office so you're not taking too many breaks.
Well, you guys have several dogs to help guard the chickens. What if you could hire this guy?
To be honest, I haven't seen any display of skill of dexterity, leaping, or herding. Now he is a collie, but he's not a border collie. This looks like.
So you think his next step is he needs to get a bunch of sheep?
Yeah, he needs to go into full sheepdog training if he's going to be truly convincing. I haven't seen any herding abilities. Like our dog, he will herd the goats together, like nip at them on their back, really get them in line, herd them together. So they don't like. I see no herding ability from this guy whatsoever.
Well, your dog, the new dog is a shepherd, right? So
yeah, it's a border collie. Border collie, okay. Aussie. He's an Aussie. Like this guy, I'm seeing nothing. He's not together. He's just standing there.
Get the fucking thing together. Fuck you.
And as you see in the footage there, he has to be dragged around on this cart because he can't walk in this
I'm sure
mode.
it's pretty uncomfortable to walk around in this suit.
Well, that's his problem, not mine.
I understand that, but if you want to be a dog, be a dog. Like, don't be pampered like this. Go out and live the life of a dog on the streets.
Yeah, make him live in a small house in the backyard.
Yeah. There can be dog food. Is this guy eating dog food? Like how dog is he? I see him waving right there. He's waving at people.
See, that's not right. I would yell at him every time. Oh, when he does that, they need to smack him with a newspaper on the nose.
Exactly. Like, get it right.
No.
Bad dog.
Bad dog. Bad dog.
No waving. No using your human appendages.
Yeah, no telling people things. You gotta bark and kind of gesture with your nose things.
This is weird. How's the story wind up? Does it have a happy ending?
Dead.
Let's see. Japanese company Zipet, which makes costumes for TV commercials and films, spent 40 days making the $20,000 outfit. A spokesperson for the company said, modeled after a collie dog, it reproduces the appearance of a real dog walking on four legs. It's a great costume, no doubt about that.
The quality of the costume is tip top, and it makes sense because he went to a theatrical company who makes these. But yeah, I don't think he's fully committed.
Crumbelievable. It is crumbelievable.
Ugh.
All right, we'll move on. This is weird, wild stuff.
Wild.
Look, man, what's going to hang, and I ain't hanging with it.
Yeah, James Earl Jones. All right, got a couple of stories here. We got, so if you remember a few years ago, New York banned large sodas. You couldn't have a giant soda in New York anymore.
Yeah, under Bloomberg. He did that, yeah.
Now they're getting rid of ketchup packets and napkins in takeout orders because it's generating too much trash, apparently.
Oh, really?
So enjoy your takeout orders with nothing. Let's see what else we got here. We got a woman receives over 100 Amazon packages she didn't order.
That's a funny headline.
We have a Massachusetts town who, and we've seen this before, they did the street paintings of school zone, and they misspelled school. So that happens. We have some sea lions on the beach in California charging at beachgoers. Let's see. Today is National Chicken Wing Day.
This headline says it all.
We have a breakdown of when people eat dinner state by state. And we have a warning for the upcoming Halloween and Christmas candy season that there's a sugar shortage.
Oh, really? I'd like to know that one. I'm curious about that. I didn't know there's a sugar shortage.
Okay.
Yeah, like
sugar shortage.
Sugar shortage coming up.
This comes from Wall Street Journal, so let me get the archive because I'm not paying for their trash. And here's the archive.
Okay. Let's go over there to the archive. Here we go. Come on now. Bring it up on the screen. Oh, okay. Sugar shortage threatens candy production ahead of Halloween holiday seasons.
That's a huge piece of news.
So more shortages. What does it do to? Okay, soaring.
Buy your candy now.
Yeah, load up now. Soaring prices and sugar shortages have makers of candy canes, peanut brittle, and lollipops feeling sour. Just those candies? Well,
only those.
Who gives a crap then?
Mike, not a fan of peanut brittle.
When's the last time you had peanut brittle?
Fair enough. It's been many years. Actually, I don't know.
Have you ever had peanut brittle?
I'm sure I've had peanut brittle. The thing is, you say peanut brittle, I immediately think of Back to the Future.
It's like one of those things no one ever buys, but somehow it is gifted to you. Like, when's the last time anyone has ever went out and purchased peanut brittle? I would say never.
So it's like candy corn.
It just appears.
All candy corn ever made was made like in 1 year, and they just keep
made one batch. And so with peanut brittle, I can't remember last time I ate it or purchased. I never purchased it probably. But tight sugar suppliers are pushing up candy companies' costs and in some cases cutting into production suites, executives say. Candy producers said the root of the problem lies with U.S. agricultural policy requiring that at least 85% of U.S. sugar purchases come from domestic processors, leading to tight supplies and high prices when demand rises. Sugar farmers and processors say the policy ensures ample supply and protects farmers' livelihoods. They say that U.S. sugar producers compete up against subsidized sugars offered by foreign competitors at artificially low rates.
Ew, wait. If I heard you correctly on that means even when you go down and buy some candy at the corner store, you're getting candy from like China or
something. Yeah. Well, ugh. I mean, probably South America. They're big sugar producers, and I know they like the sugar cane. They might be subsidized.
It all comes from Hawaii.
Oh, really?
A lot of it.
Oh.
Ask Matt. Is Matt in the chat?
Jesus
Matt, were you guys growing sugar?
In Brain, Ohio, Spangler Candy Makers, Bryan, Brain, Ohio, Spangler Candy Makers around 250 million candy canes in a typical year. 250 million candy canes in a year?
Like all year long?
In a typical year, they make 250 million candy canes. That's an insane amount of candy canes. In the past year, suppliers cut back to the availability of sugar distributed the company's disrupted the company's supply chain, Spangler President Kurt Vachol said. So not as many candy canes. Spangler
candy cane shortage?
Spangler turned down Halloween candy orders it couldn't fulfill. Vachol said, and by June of last year, the company knew it wouldn't be able to make production loss in time for Christmas. Spangler wound up producing about 20 million candy canes for the year. So they're down 50 million. So that cuts into profits.
Wait, from 250 to 20 or to 200?
200. 250 to 200.
Okay.
It's much more expensive to manufacture candy in the United States, and sometimes we lose business because of it. Of course.
Can we replace this all with that nasty high fructose corn sugar crap?
I think that's what I mean. So the Sugar Alliance.
That's the worst group of superheroes.
I think those are the people that fought the Imperials in Star Wars.
Sugar Alliance is made up of a footlong Subway, Dogman,
and Kit Kats. The Sugar Alliance. The Sugar Alliance said the existing federal policies enable sugar users to avoid shortages by importing what they need from foreign trading partners. Texas sugarcane farmers, Tudor Yulhorn, said the current U.S. sugar policy helps support more than 2,000 jobs in the states where producers are battling drought. Candy makers are trying to cope. Spangler, which uses around 30 million pounds of sugar annually, oh my God, has tried to anticipate the timing of supply shortages and schedule production line maintenance in its factory during those periods. The company also moves some production facilities in Mexico, where Vachol says they haven't had any sugar issues. Once we lose time, you can't go back and get it. There you go.
Wait, so they're saying that in Mexico, they're not able. They don't have any problems sourcing sugar for production.
That's correct.
So in the U.S., this sounds like it's entirely
policy
artificially.
Issue.
Yeah, it's all based on regulation and whatnot. So good job, government.
That's a policy issue. Yep.
So here's the question: are we just going to see, or probably answer my own question here, both? But are we going to see prices simply increase because they have to pay more for foreign sugar or do processing elsewhere, or are they going to replace all the sugar with high fructose corn syrup, and candy's just going to be terrible? So probably both, I'm guessing.
Say the American Sugar Alliance, the organizer of sugarcane and sugar beet farmers and processors, said the current policy isn't to blame for rising prices and shortages.
Then why is it cheaper in Mexico?
U.S. sugar farmers said that the foreign government subsidizing sugar production in their countries, keeping prices artificially low and threatening U.S. farmers. What they're asking for is U.S. government subsidies. That's what they're asking for.
What if we replaced all sugar with FDA-approved delicious aspartame?
Okay, sure. Wow, that stuff's great.
We all get cancer.
Yeah. So the group is speaking with House and Senate agricultural committees and stakeholder groups, including sugar growers. The confectioners group aims to implement changes in the next 5-year farm bill, sprawling piece of food and agricultural related legislation. So I think they're trying to get some subsidies. That's what they're trying to do.
This sounds like they need to just hire Alex Jones to yell, "I want the money."
So say either they're going to get subsidies or they're going to try to push the tariff rate up, increase the tariffs on the foreign sugar, or have U.S. subsidies on sugar.
Por qué no los dos? Just do it both.
Yeah, sure. You know Trump would go with tariffs. Biden will probably do subsidies.
No, Biden will shut down all the farms and set them on fire and say it's illegal and you have to live in cities.
Not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that does it for us today. I think we covered some really important news.
Did we?
Yeah, I think so.
We covered some news.
Yeah, I think we did it all.
Don't forget you got to run that 3-minute version of the supercut at the end.
I did. It's at the end of the audio-only podcast. So go to obdmpod.com or ourbigdumbmouth.com and subscribe to the podcast. And it's a better way to listen to the show when you're on the go. And there's always some special audio at the end of every episode. We'll be back on Wednesday. Oh, yes, Wednesday.
Stop it!
No. Maybe we'll get a big update with Joe's apartment battle and whether or not he was able to claim victory over the Sugar Alliance.
His current urban warfare with the Sugar Alliance. He said he's on the top floor, so they must be slowly encroaching upwards.
Wow. He's probably holed up there, barricaded up there, hiding behind a mound of Subway sandwiches.
He's got mattresses and Subway sandwiches piled against the door to keep people out.
Subway sandwiches, it's commonly known, does absorb bullets very well.
And now that his husband is finally living with him, he can have somebody help so they can leverage crew-served machine guns as opposed to just light weapons.
Yeah. 2-man operations sometimes operating a saw.
Really lay down some suppressing fire. No, you got to use a bigger gun than that. There you go.
He's laying down suppressing fire.
Rambo?
Yeah, it's from Rambo 2. When he got back and
shoots up the place,
he realized he was duped. And they's like, we're just fooling on you, Rambo. This is one big prank.
Just a prank, man.
Don't take us serious, man.
Do you think that would have worked if he would have come back angry and that's what their response was?
Nah, he still would have shut him up. It's John Rambo, for crying out loud. He could have put up with that garbage prank.
Blew up a guy with a bow and arrow.
Yeah. He shoots people with bow and arrows, and the arrow blows up. That's how powerful that kinetic energy is.
That's how mad he is.
Yeah.
Throws all his anger into
Throws arrows at people, and they blow up. I haven't seen the newest Rambo. The one where he's fighting Mexican drug cartels, but
over their sugar subsidies?
Yeah, over sugar subsidies. Battling the Sugar Alliance.
Fighting the Sugar Alliance. I think that's the title of the next Avengers film.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Cratchit Shabla Goo.
Keep watching the skis for that nasty, nasty Sugar Alliance.
When it comes to one-year-old justice, Joseph, you are the father.
This is just incredible information, Joe.
And I must get rid of these parasites that have infested our solar system. This is today's This is quite the insult. Why can't you understand something that's so easy?
Read about it.
That's about all. Shablagu. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Until next week, Nanu.